I'm Cheyenne and I'm from WA.
Hi, I'm Anne. I'm from Tassie.
Hi, I'm Sarah and I'm from South Australia.
Today we spoke with different people in different states about our wins in Create and lots more questions.
We spoke about how we would use our voices and what we would tell our younger selves today.
Let's dive in.
Create, great people, considering we're literally sitting here working with Create right now. Yeah, that's like being able to work with Create and also now applying for the Queensland Youth Parliament. It's definitely very significantly helped me like tell people throughout not only the state but the country about the significant issues throughout the sector.
So I think Create has really helped me come out of my shell. I've been with Create since I was 6 years old, and I just started off doing little connection events. And then I was a little bit embarrassed about being in care, and I really didn't like people knowing. But it was Create when I very first did the Speak Up programs. It kind of taught me that there's a whole wide world of people out here, and there's no need to be shy or scared or anything like that, because we are who we are and it makes us who we are. So I definitely think Create has helped in my life. I now want to be a psychiatrist, and I just want to give back to the youth, particularly in care and out of care, and just, in general, people. So a lot of my studying has been dedicated to the young people, and I work with the cancer where I live, and I'm part of youth groups and that where I live as well. And I honestly think Create's the one that got me out of it and to do that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
I think mine's very similar to you guys with the youth advisory groups and surveys and all of that stuff. And I've really liked being a part of like the caseworker trainings too. And last year we got lucky enough to do a small panel in WA for some of the UWA social work students and kind of introduce them to who Create is and what they do and what it's like for kids in care and kids leaving care in recent history, because a lot of media don't show how it is nowadays in realities to us. So, which is really, really great. And that was a really great way to share and change some of the patterns of thinking they'd like previously developed, and change some of the stigmas they may be thinking of, oh, kids in care are bad kids, to, oh, look at this, these amazing young people have come out of the care sector, and this is how we can help support our young people in the future to achieve the same things and achieve the goals they want in their lives.
Well, for me at least, of course, being on Navy is one of my big things. Being on the Suicide Prevention Advocacy Network. So I've helped rebuild the mental health kits and a lot of the policies and procedures with government departments and how they handle suicide and suicidal ideation. I have gotten to do a handful of really big speeches one of my first ever ones being with the scan teams across Queensland. I was terrified when I did it, speaking in front of about nearly 200 people, with my microphone deciding to go nope, and me having to yell across the conference room to all of these people, and just being able to be involved with Create and to amplify my voice. It's been great, and being able to go down to Adelaide to the VIA conference was phenomenal, and being able to see the work that all of you across all the different states do was really enlightening to us up here in Queensland, because as most of you know, we're like a decade behind in all of our child protection scenes. So to see how far ahead everybody is, it's enlightening, but it also says to us, hey, you kind of need to get ahead. Like, you need to start this stuff quickly. But yeah, Create's been great, and like, I'm so privileged to be involved in not only these meetings, but in the conferences I go to, in the meetings that I go to all the youth groups and YAGs and all that I go to. It's just a privilege, and I'll be able to hopefully amplify my voice further through the Queensland Youth Parliament.
I guess one of my biggest things was me for personally, I got to do an ABC story about my life in care and what my ambitions and that were after care. And that was really cool. It was a story, it was on TV, it was a major production, and I only had 2 weeks because I was moving to Queensland. So it made it really hard, but it was one of the best things, and Create supported me greatly in it. I have been in roundtables. I also helped get Tassie the over 21. I sat on that board as well. And I've also been able to go, I've seen Create in Queensland and also in WA. So I think that's also been a really cool experience, because not only have I seen how Tassie works, Tassie is also actually quite ahead compared to some of the other states that I've read about. And as for WA, there's also quite a lot, I would say, there. So being able to see all of that was also great. And I did do a few things in WA while I was there, which was also really cool. And at the moment we Create, because I have a full-time job and I'm studying, life does get in the way, but I do really enjoy going to skills, YAGs and all that, and meeting up with the people. It's just great atmosphere.
I think a big win for me was probably actually deciding to go and join NEBI, because in fact my sister Gemma is a big part of Create here in South Australia as well, and looking up to her, and her being younger than me, and being able to voice her opinions and be able to talk, go to YAGs and go to Create meetings and stuff, sort of opened my eyes, because as soon as I finished Year 12, that's what I wanted to do, get more involved in voicing, just voicing my opinions on, the care system and what needs changes and stuff. I've actually started writing an autobiography about my life in care and just my achievements and my, even the hard times, my mental health, but not going into details as such. And I feel like that's good for my mental health, because I'm getting it down in paper instead of having it all in my head. But then it's good because eventually I'll try and get it published, or try and get it seen by someone, even if I just pass it like get it printed and pass it to my team here in South Australia, Create, and they can have a look and pass it on to the young people in South Australia in care.
Some wins for me would also be the conferences. Attending Melbourne in 2019 and coming to Adelaide last year were amazing, getting to meet all new young people from all over the country and hear all these different stories and know that while each state is individual and we have our own individual needs and experiences, we also have this common experience and community that we can fall back on as well. Has been amazing, and just creating those connections and maintaining those has been a win. I have to say, being involved with the consultations leading up to Homestretch happening in WA and the Make It 21 campaign back when I was 18, 19 were really big things, because they were the first big things that I was involved with that went through, and now Homestretch has been applied throughout the state now, so making it easier for young people to access it in regional and remote areas as well as metro, which is huge because we get very minimal support regional and remotely. So feeling those things bridging out to us finally is amazing. And I think a personal win for me would be being a better mum by advocating and sharing my story, because there's a lot of other care leavers who are young parents and they may feel they can't do a lot of the things that older parents can do, or parents who haven't experienced the care system, and being able to help and support each other as a community and show each other that we can parent and be just like everyone else and we can be good mums and dads. That has been amazing for me personally. Through NEBI, we were all part of developing the strategic plan for Create as well for the next 3 years, which is huge for all of us.
Keep going. Like, honestly, I know when I was younger, it felt inevitable. Like, I felt like I was just going to be stuck in the system, that no matter what I said, nobody would care. And, like, considering I lived in the middle of, like, nowhere, so there wasn't really a way for me to talk to anybody or amplify my voice, because there was nothing. So yeah, like, just keep going, keep pushing through. Don't let people get you down. And be strong. Because yeah, I suffered a lot with mental health when I was younger, and that was all I needed somebody else to tell me was, you're strong, you've got this, keep pushing through, and don't let the haters get to you.
Mine would be, you can do this, and you've done it. Because, yeah, growing up was hard, but I think once I stepped away from everyone and became, like, I was 18 and I decided to move states. And I think that was probably the best thing I could do, because I became myself. I didn't have anyone there to tell me how I was meant to live, how I was meant to think. It was just, yes, I made mistakes along the way, but it was me. So I'd really like to tell my younger self that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I agree with what Jaden and Anne said. Like, if I was facing my younger self today, just to keep going and stand up for yourself. Like, even through the hard times, just be like, hey, this isn't right, or try and stand up for yourself, and, like, make good friends. like build a relationship with people that you can trust and that you can, if you need to fall back on someone, that you can talk to.
Also, that every hard decision that I was going through at the time, and every hard choice I had to make that I felt like were the wrong choices at the time, are worth it. I would not change anything because I'm where I am now, and that is the best. And also to take every opportunity that is given to you, because I was given so many opportunities I didn't take, and now I'm kicking myself. But if I could go back, that's the one thing I would do.
I'd like to agree with Shane. When I was younger, I made a lot of mistakes, but I also don't think I'd be here without my mistakes, because it's made me the person I am. So I think I'd also like to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. With the fact that like changing the mental health kits, changing how decision makers and government departments think about children in care and lived experience and mental health. Absolutely. Yeah, just how it's enlightened so many people. And with the fact that, like, I helped make Kickbox, and now Kickbox is across the country. And so many young people are being able to use it to contact their CSOs and their caseworkers, to be able to find all of their old memories from when they were younger, to connect to family members. It's crazy to think of that an app that I helped make, that I was the first person that ever registered for that app, and now it's countrywide and everybody is using it, as well as with Sortly. I helped make Sortly and everybody loves it now. And I will sit here and plug Sortly to death because it is an amazing app and all young people should be using it. And it's just, yeah, it's crazy to think that just so many people are like, hey, I know you. I know what you've done for young people, and I want to know more. And it's just crazy to think of.
I did the ABC for myself, like it was a personal thing. But a few years ago, I got a message from the lady who wrote the article to say that it had reached thousands of people, and they had entries of their own experiences, not only people in care, but people that thought that they should be in care reading my story. And, that they realized that their life could be a lot more. And when I heard that, it made me cry, honestly. I absolutely loved it. I didn't realize how many people I'd touched or how many people had even saw it. But yeah, it was an amazing experience being able to make Tassie to 21. That was a great experience as well. It was great news when we got that, because we worked so hard on it. And there's lots of other speeches and all that I've done. But yeah, overall, I think Create in itself, like even just being in Navy, like just having all these experiences, it's just been great. Like, you get a voice and you're allowed to say what you want at the end of the day. And a lot of the time, our voice is heard. Like, all conferences or all meetings that we go to, it's all documented. So our voice is being heard, like, on a daily, which I think is really nice with Create.
So, like I was saying before with Homestretch, that is definitely an amazing change made to the system in WA. But as well as at a local level as well, advocating for better leaving care processes for young people leaving care in my area. When I left care in 2018, the processes down here were only just starting, and I was one of the lucky few who got a leaving care plan at the time, which was terrible in our area for young people leaving care without a leaving care plan. So me and some other friends, with the help of Create back in 2018, advocated with my local department to create better processes with our leaving care agency to make sure every young person leaving care knew their leaving care worker, knew the processes and knew their rights as well and their entitlements, because a lot of young people don't know what they're entitled to when they leave care, and that's something that's really important. Personally, when I find a young person who is in that leaving care range 15 plus, because I additionally work within the sector, I let them know as well, these are some of the things you're going to be entitled to. Make sure they put it in your leaving care plan so you can access it. And here's our leaving care workers. You can just drop in at any time to go see them. So that was amazing for me.